I'm Stuart McIntosh with the BBC News. Hello. The Ukrainian city of Lviv has been hit by a number of missiles, the first in the west of the country in more than a week. The head of the regional administration says 3 electricity substations have been damaged, and the mayor says part of the city has been left without power. From Lviv, here's Joe Inwood.
From our rooftop position in the centre of the city, smoke can be seen rising in multiple directions. We counted 3 different points. Under local security laws, it is illegal to give more specific details. There is currently no word on casualties. There have been a number of missile strikes around Lviv since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mostly they have hit military or logistical targets. Lviv has felt relatively safe in recent days. There have been sporadic alarms, but this has often seemed like a city a long way from the war. Although the sirens are now over, tonight that no longer felt the case.
The Russian military has intensified bombardment of a besieged Ukrainian steelworks after the first civilians to be evacuated from the site reached safety. The United Nations says 101 people were picked up from the Azovstal plant in Mariupol after weeks underground in desperate conditions. Most have now been taken to the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia, from where Laura Bicker sent this report.
There were hugs and tears of exhaustion and relief as the group of women and children stepped out of the buses and into the sunshine. For 2 months they'd lived in the hidden depths of a steel plant in the city of Mariupol as Russian bombs pounded the site. The operation carried out by the United Nations and the Red Cross has been complex and at times dangerous. UN staff on the ground found the area littered with landmines and at one point had to pull back after an artillery strike.
The Senate Majority Leader in the United States, Chuck Schumer, says he plans to hold a vote as early as next week on enshrining the right to an abortion into federal law. It follows the leaking of a draft Supreme Court ruling showing that the justices plan to scrap the nationwide legal right to a termination. He said it would be a crucial vote.
A vote on this legislation is no longer an abstract exercise. This is as urgent and as real as it gets. We will vote to protect a woman's right to choose, and every American is going to see which side every senator stands on.
The Turkish President, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, has said he's organising the voluntary return to Syria of 1 million refugees living in Turkey. He said 500,000 refugees had already returned to Turkish-controlled safe zones there. Resentment has been growing in Turkey towards the more than 3.5 million Syrian refugees in the country. Some critics have questioned how truly voluntary the returns are likely to be. BBC World News. On a visit to Nigeria, the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has met former members of the jihadist group Boko Haram. The UN says more than 2 million people have had to flee their homes in northeastern Nigeria because of attacks by Islamist militants. Ishaq Khalid reports from Abuja.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres met with some former members of the extremist group Boko Haram who had laid down their arms, renounced violence and surrendered to the Nigerian authorities. Mr. Guterres has also visited camps for people displaced by the insurgency in the city of Maiduguri to see the impact of the devastating conflict. The continuing violence has killed nearly 350,000 people since 2009 in Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon and Chad. He is due to hold talks with the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari in the capital Abuja on Wednesday.
Brazil's electoral court has withdrawn an invitation to the European Union to send delegates to observe the country's general elections in October. The announcement comes after President Jair Bolsonaro complained that Brazil was not a member of the EU. Mr. Bolsonaro, who's seeking re-election, is trailing in the opinion polls behind the former left-wing leader Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. The Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has said he's in discussions with the leaders of Bolivia, Argentina and Chile to form an association to regulate the production of lithium. The 3 countries have some of the world's biggest reserves of the metal, which is essential in batteries for the booming electric car market. An anti-royalist punk anthem banned by the BBC in the 1970s is being re-released to coincide with Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee next month. God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols, with its scathing lyrics about the Queen's fascist regime, caused a scandal when it first appeared in 1977. BBC News.